Section 1. America's Founding Financial Vision. A look back at the Constitution. Okay folks, buckle up because we're diving into the wild world of finance. Specifically, we're talking about the US Constitution and its surprisingly relevant take on money. You see those powdered wig-wearing geniuses who penned the Constitution? They knew a thing or two about financial stability. They'd seen firsthand the chaos of unchecked monetary systems. They wanted something different for America, something built to last. The Founding Fathers envisioned a system where the government's power over money was limited. Shocking, right? They believed in sound money, backed by tangible assets. They understood that true financial freedom meant individuals had control over their own wealth, not some king or, a government with a penchant for overspending. This wasn't some idealistic pipe dream. The Constitution lays out a clear framework for a responsible and transparent financial system. It's time we dusted off those old parchment papers and remembered the financial wisdom they hold. Article 1, Section 10, the Gold and Silver Standard. A blast from the past. Let's get down to brass tacks, or should I say, gold and silver. This section states that states can't issue their own money. Money has to be backed by something real, like gold or silver. It was designed to prevent governments from printing money willy-nilly. Tying money to a tangible asset keeps things stable. It prevents runaway inflation. So what happened? We threw fiat currency into the mix, and things changed. Section 3. Fiat currency. When the government prints money like it's going out of style. All right, folks, let's talk about fiat currency. It sounds fancy, right? Like something you'd order at a fancy restaurant. I'll have the fiat currency, please, medium rare. But here's the thing. Fiat currency is essentially the financial equivalent of a junk food binge. You see, fiat currency isn't backed by anything tangible. It's backed by the government's word. And let's be honest, government promises are about as reliable as a weather forecast in a hurricane. This means the government can print as much fiat currency as it wants. And guess what happens when you print more money? That's right, the value of the existing money goes down. It's like adding water to your orange juice. This, my friends, is the magic trick behind inflation. Section 4. The Quantum Leap, introducing QFS and the Global Currency Reset. Okay, let's talk about the Quantum Financial System, or QFS, for those who like their acronyms short and snappy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Quantum, is this some kind of financial black magic? Well, it's not magic, but it is a pretty radical idea. The QFS is basically a digital financial system that's supposed to be super secure, transparent, and here's the kicker, independent of governments and central banks. It's like the Wild West of finance, but instead of saloons and tumbleweeds, you've got blockchain technology and decentralized ledgers. Now, the Global Currency Reset, or GCR, is like the grand opening party for the QFS. It's the moment when we supposedly ditch the old fiat currencies and switch over to a new system of asset-backed digital currencies. Imagine a world where your money is safe from government meddling and inflation. A world where transactions are instant and borderless. That's the utopian vision of the QFS and GCR. But of course, the devil is always in the details. Section 5. Asset-backed currency. Because money shouldn't grow on trees or government printers. Let's get real for a second. The idea of a currency that can't just be printed out of thin air is pretty appealing. That's where asset-backed currencies come in. Think of them as the responsible older sibling of fiat currency. Instead of relying on the whims of politicians, asset-backed currencies are tied to something tangible. Gold, silver, oil, you name it. This backing gives them inherent value. It's like having a safety net under your money so it doesn't just float off into the abyss of inflation. Now, some folks argue that asset-backed currencies are too rigid, that they can't keep up with the fast-paced world of modern finance. But hey, maybe a little stability isn't such a bad thing, especially after the roller coaster ride we've been on with fiat currencies. Plus, with the QFS, we're not talking about your grandpappy's gold standard. We're talking about digital assets, blockchain technology, and a whole new world of financial possibilities. Section 6. Less government, more freedom, putting the individual back in financial. Okay, let's talk about freedom, baby, because isn't that what America is all about? And what's more freeing than having control over your own money? That's the promise of a financial system aligned with the Constitution, a system where the government takes a back seat and individuals take the wheel. The founding fathers were pretty clear about their distrust of centralized power, especially when it came to money. They'd seen firsthand how easily governments could abuse their control over the money supply. They wanted a system where individuals were empowered to make their own financial decisions, free from unnecessary government interference. Now, some might argue that government regulation is necessary to prevent chaos and protect consumers. And sure, some rules are important. But when it comes to our money, maybe, just maybe, we need to tip the scales back in favor of individual liberty. After all, it's our money, right? Shouldn't we have the freedom to decide how to spend it, save it, or even invest it in a giant cheese sculpture if we want to? Section 7. Transparency and accountability. Shining a light on the new financial system. Let's be honest, the current financial system is about as transparent as a brick wall. It's complicated, it's secretive, and it often feels like it's rigged against the average Joe. But what if we could change that? What if we could create a system that was open, honest, and accountable? That's the promise of the QFS and GCR. Imagine a world where you could trace every single financial transaction, where you knew exactly where your money was going and who was handling it. No more shady backroom deals, no more hidden fees, no more wondering if the system is working for you or against you. This kind of transparency would be a game changer. It would level the playing field, making it harder for corruption to thrive. It would empower individuals to hold institutions accountable. And it would restore trust in a system that has, frankly, been lacking in that department for far too long. Section 8, the power of the people. How this shift impacts you and me. Okay, so we've talked about the Constitution, asset-backed currencies, and the QFS. But how does all of this actually impact you and me, the average folks just trying to navigate this crazy thing called life? Well, buckle up, because the potential impact of this financial shift is huge. First off, imagine a world with less inflation. Remember those days when a dollar could actually buy you a decent cup of coffee? With a more stable currency, those days could return. Your money would hold its value, meaning you wouldn't have to work harder and harder just to stay afloat. Second, think about the possibilities for increased financial freedom. Imagine being able to send money across borders instantly and without exorbitant fees. Imagine having more control over your own financial destiny. That's the power of a decentralized financial system. This isn't just about money, it's about power. It's about shifting the balance of power away from centralized institutions and back into the hands of the people. It's about creating a fairer, more just, and more equitable financial system for everyone. Section 9. Taking back control. The future of financial sovereignty. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Changing the world's financial system is a tall order. It's like trying to herd cats while blindfolded during an earthquake. But here's the thing. Throughout history, progress has always been driven by those who dared to dream big, those who refused to accept the status quo. The movement towards a new financial system aligned with the Constitution is about taking back control. It's about reclaiming our financial sovereignty from the clutches of a system that often feels rigged against us. It's about creating a future where money serves the people, not the other way around. This isn't some far-fetched fantasy, it's a real possibility. The tools and technologies exist to make it happen. The question is, do we have the collective will to demand something different, to fight for a better financial future? Section 10, a call to action, what you can do to support the movement. All right, folks, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the Constitution, the QFS, asset-backed currencies, and the whole shebang. But now comes the important part. What can you actually do to support this movement? Well, it's actually not as complicated as you might think. First off, educate yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Read up on the Constitution, learn about the QFS, and explore the world of alternative currencies. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your own finances. Second, talk about it. Share this information with your friends, family, and that weird neighbor who always wears a tinfoil hat. The more people who are aware of these issues, the more momentum we can build for change. Finally, don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Question the system, demand transparency, and support businesses and organizations that align with your values. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but every little bit helps. Section 11. Restoring the dream, a more stable and just financial future. So, there you have it, folks. The road to restoring financial sovereignty and aligning our financial system with the principles of the Constitution may be long and winding, but it's a journey worth taking. It's a journey towards a future where money is a tool for empowerment, not oppression. A future where financial stability and individual freedom go hand in hand. A future where the American dream is once again within reach for everyone. It's a future worth fighting for. Don't miss a notification and subscribe now. Thank you.